Namaste. Welcome back, beautiful souls. This is Top Tarot Minors, the penultimate episode. And tonight we're going to talk about the Queen of Pentacles, this absolutely gorgeous card that is full of life and a reminder of the abundance and beauty that we are surrounded with here on this planet, in this life that we live. This is the Queen of the season that this is presently being recorded in, the Queen of Capricorn, the Queen of Winter, through Golden Dawn correspondences anyway, and just absolute magnificence in many of these interpretations that I'm going to share with you tonight. So let me get to that. There we are. The camera's cooperating. There's a few things just glancing at these cards that I want to be sure to touch on. And one is also the honoring of the physical body and the fact that the suit of earth also connects us to the physical body and its wellness. So that's something I want to make sure to touch on here. And if you are new and just popping in, warm welcome. My name is Sadhana, and tarot is something that just really gets me going. It is a crazy, amazing medium for self-reflection and healing and discovery. And it's been quite a journey going through all of these cards. Before I did these 56, I did do the top tarot trumps, so be sure to check out that series as well too. Yeah. So where to begin? Should we start with fabric? Let's start with fabric. This is something that is very apparent in some of the older decks as well too, the luxuriousness with which the Queen and the King of Pentacles are usually dressed. If you are a lover of fabric, this is a card for you. And in this card here, this is Pagan Otherworlds. The Queen has this gorgeous, heavy, I imagine it's a silk. You can see the textures in the fabric, and yet it's not overstated. It is just exactly what she is meant to be wearing. And I look here, this is the Crystal Tarot. I've shown you quite a few cards from this deck as well too. And there's just something about the luxuriousness of the fabric in this card. And does this Queen know how to wear her wraps? To wear, not, and her, let's say there, to wear their wraps. I have managed to get at least one card on the table that does not identify as cisgender feminine. It is really tricky for me. I don't use a lot of queer decks in my readings. I do have several in my library, and I want to honor the fact that the Queen is the listener, the leading receptive energy, and there is a beauty and a power to this regardless of the gender identification. There is also, as I was mentioning with body, this is Tarot of the Hidden Realm, and you can see it a bit too here in the Gaian Tarot hidden behind. There is a luxuriousness of body as well too, and this comes through the teachings of Ayurveda. And if we are to or were to associate the doshas or predominant doshas with the elemental correspondences in the court cards, there is lusciousness to the kapha skin tone, skin quality, the the weight of the body as well too. And when I do think of a Queen of Pentacles, I would see in a female body large-breasted, warm, slightly oily skin. It's just a luscious, opening, welcoming body. And of course, this comes in lots of variations. And in a masculine body, this would also not be a slight person. This would be a person of some largesse who perhaps had a deeper tone of voice, a comfort in the body as well too. Definitely a comfort in the body, and the ability to connect the health and the wellness and the happiness and even the flexibility of the body with the way one moved in the earth and upon the earth. I can imagine that the Queens of Pentacles who wear these luxurious fabrics would also have a reverence for the source of the fabric and know something about the process, the nature of the dyes, the silk farm, where this came from. There would be connection here to the weaver. It feels really important to all of the Pentacles court cards, this level of connection. And you can see that the Guardian of Pentacles and the guy in Tarot, the one that's back here, the care that is given in the inspecting of the corn. And what's coming to mind here is the kind of care for this environment that would involve, if not themselves, the hiring of staff to remove the pests that were a danger to the crop. This would not be a person who supported poisonous chemicals to rid a garden, a field of insects, for example. Connection in every way, health, and the connection and respect of the crop for the wealth, the health of the physical body. That there is a relationship here with community as well too. And that the success of the garden reflects the health of the people that this crop supports. And you can take this in whatever sort of and I suppose we need to bring this to maybe for some people a more applicable circumstance. If this were someone who was responsible for feeding a typical family in North America, there would be visits to farm stands or a weekly box of organics that arrived there, no matter the size of the home or the yard. There would be some awareness of, there would be herbs in pots, patio gardens, some connection to the earth in this way. And I spoke of the pages and their connection to animals and the knights as well too. This would likely be a home that has pets and has always had a pet. And the pet is well cared for, well exercised, well fed, and well cared for. The family in general. And of course, you ask about the entrepreneurial aspect of this queen, the resources. So the idea of resource as being material resources as well as inner resources. And inner resources may be part of the domain of the Queen of Cups as well too. It's this queen understands how it all works together. Financial comfort, not an issue, certainly. To be draped in clothes like this, to have the money for the seeds and the field. This card has always sort of mystified me. I really do like this. This is the Fountain Tarot. And when I think of the suit of Pentacles as representing winter, there's just something really beautiful in this card. I feel a deep sense of love here. And, I may have, or probably should have brought in a card from the Tildwick Tarot. And I did a series on this deck. If you don't know it, look it up. The pages, knights, queens, and kings. The queens are all outside in the garden. I believe the kings are all in interior landscapes. The pages, I believe, are outside as well, too. It's such an interesting reflection on the environment that the queen creates. And in the case of the Tildwick, the type of garden that might represent a queen. So the queens tend to provide an environment in which their element will thrive. And that's their specialty, is to nurture the environment. And so this queen nurtures an environment where, and I think of, the kitchen will be well set up so that food can be cooked well. And this has been a favorite card for ever since I had this deck. This Queen of Pentacles at her wheel, so connected to the process of making earthenware. The studio is outdoors, surrounded by plants. Granted, this is a collage deck, but it's just such a captivating energy. Hidden behind that one is Mother Peace Tarot. And this card also speaks deeply to connection. In that, and you'll notice this queen is not doing sun salutations. This queen is in a, this is not a challenging posture, seated Matsyendrasana pose. But it is seated and requires a tremendous amount of focus to surrender the opposite hip to the earth. And I'm a yoga instructor, and I absolutely love guiding this pose, regardless of the level of yoga you are at. There, you wouldn't believe the number of experienced practitioners who don't have a clue about how to connect to this pose and release the body in a way that the weight of the body can surrender into the cushion and then into the earth, and yet rise tall through the spine. It is a mighty pose. Yoga outside is such a brilliant thing. The baby is present and content in the garden. Yeah. As you can tell, this is one of my favorite cards. I really like this card. And then in the very back, this is from Dust Onyx. And the court cards in this deck are extraordinary. They are other worldly. There is a sagacity to these cards beyond understanding, and poise, wisdom, tremendous wisdom. And some of them just really, I think I've shared a few throughout the series, just speak profoundly to my heart. And you can often see, I don't have the guidebook out today, but you can gaze at the eyes behind the collage, and most often the person is named who this represents, who this is actually, because they're real people's eyes behind the collage. But the Mother of Pentacles comes in many forms, and they know how to listen as a queen. So perhaps she's not the best listener of the four queens, but indeed she is a listener, and that comes through the receptive quality of the suit. And there are a number of tarot decks that call this court card the listener of the element. One of them is Future Ancestor Tarot. Another is, I can see it in my mind, I no longer have it. There's a few decks that do that, and I think that's a wonderful appellation for the queens. So let me choose my top 5 Queen of Pentacles for today. In their own way, they all say something just amazing. I'm going to leave my Potter on the table. She's been very near and dear for a long time. Well, as long as this deck's been around. It's a textured tarot, if I didn't say so. So I'm going to go with these 3 to start. And then choose 2 others. I think the mysteriousness of the Queen of Coins in the Fountain Tarot is definitely worth including. And perhaps the Guardian of Earth from the Gaian for a well-rounded representation. And Guardian is a title that fits really well with queens, because guardians care, guardians protect, and the overarching there's a few of them, but one of the important aspects of the queens is their ability to create the environment, or sustain, adapt, and adjust the environment so the element thrives. And I think the Guardian here really does a beautiful job with that. So left to right, top 5 Queen of Pentacles are Guardian Tarot, Pagan Other Worlds, Mother Peace, Textured, and Fountain. Thank you. I look forward to your comments later. Take good care. Namaste.